to destination below. Got this issues with those these two groups and LinkedIn. All right, though we are all right. So we are streaming live. Excellent. Hello. This is Trevor Mickelson, and I am here to help you embrace prosperity. And today we are going to be talking about, guess what?
Healy.
The Healy again. And this is my sister Tonsina, and you all have met her before, I'm sure, in some post or seen her somewhere. She is a RN, so a registered nurse at one of the largest hospitals in it is the largest hospital
in Southern Oregon.
Yeah. So yeah, you have been at this location for 4 years and
almost 6.
Oh my goodness, time flies.
It will be 6 in August.
Wow. So you've been in this and you are all over the place, and you are, I will say, highly involved with the nurses. If you want to maybe get into that a little bit so people know who you are.
I'm at Estante Road Regional Tonsina Wells. I'm a critical care float nurse, nursing resource team. So I can literally go to any of the critical care units, ICU, cardiac care unit, IMCU, emergency department, as well as the floors. So it is a really great opportunity to just touch base with everybody, do different working conditions. My day is always different. I literally show up and I don't know my assignment until I'm there, which is exciting and terrifying to some people, but I love every day. I'm also highly involved with the Oregon Nurses Association at our hospital. It's our bargaining unit, and we represent our 900 nurses in our contract negotiations and day-to-day operations and things, and just make sure that everybody's smoothly going through their work cycle, and those nurses feel fully supported by us. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of individuals, and I love these conversations that we're having about the Healys and testimonials this week. One, because, well, today was going to be the last day to get the Healy sale, and we broke the system.
Right.
Which that's exactly what the Healy's about. It's like breaking the system. That's exactly where we're here.
Yeah.
And to, whether it's within your own self, whether it's your community, whether it's your city, your state, your world, what we're going to be really focusing on today is the family, because we all and somebody, you do, when the second I say this word, autism, and
right.
It's like, whoa, I know, like
traumatic and difficult to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that. And so your son, my nephew.
Right. My son, Cullen, he is 14 now. He'll be 15 in the fall. He is autistic. He's on the autism spectrum. He's considered high functioning, where it's one of those, it's not the nonverbal, non-communicative, banging your hand on your head type of thing. He walks and talks and looks normal, but has really difficulty with processing his emotions, and has some verbal disconnect and does not pick up nonverbal cues a lot of the times. So, and there's some fixation on certain subjects that he really loves. And, he'll be having a conversation with somebody and he's like, this is so great, we're so engaged, but the other person is like showing those cues of shutting down and like, I'm not really listening to you and I'm not really connecting with you, and he misses it. And it has been a long struggle for us. Obviously he started showing signs of that when he was 3 or 4. It was crazy because his vision actually changed. He was running up and down the stairs. We lived with my parents at the time, and no problem, and all of a sudden he got to the top of the stairs and there's a large gap, and they're wood stairs, so you can see through them. My parents were in a log home, and he was like reaching his foot out, and it was like, dude, what's wrong? What are you doing? And we took him to the doctor, got his vision check, and he was 20/200 in his left eye and 20/80 in his right. And now that's very significant because we did do a program called Brain Balance for like a full year. That was really great. It did a lot of things for him physically, mechanically, worked on his reading, used sounds to actually get things back in alignment. He was 80% left-brained and like 20% right. So he literally, kids have meltdowns, 20-30 minutes, you're like, okay, took the toy away, they're very upset, they're crying. 2 hours of just cycling through the same emotions, and he was stuck, and it was heartbreaking. And so we did that program. It helped significantly, but he still was behind emotionally. And when we tried to get him in school, he was struggling behind. We were trying to do some homeschool. It was long going. So
a lot of days getting called.
Yeah, a lot of days. And then even as he got older, we're, here in Oregon, and we were like right down the road from the school, but it still was this, we can't handle him. We're going to need to put him in this special school. We tried switching schools. That was a disaster. It was like he was in 3rd or 4th grade. It was like putting him back into kindergarten. It was miserable. So fast forward, he's in middle school now. He's going to be a freshman in high school next year. And he was doing pretty well for 6th grade. 7th grade, he started shutting down a little bit. When his younger brother Kieran came in to this grade below him in middle school. And 8th grade, it was,
yeah, 2020.
It was 2020.
Yeah.
And so he had a really big incident in 7th grade where he was not listening. He was not redirectable. He actually was picking up rocks on a campus, which everybody knows that's basically death when it comes to your discipline and redirecting. And they're like, we might have to suspend him. They started talking about looking for a special school in Ashland, and we're already 30 to 45 minutes outside of town because we live remotely. That would be an hour to an hour and a half drive. And for me, that was completely unacceptable. So we get through the 2020 kind of doing the online thing, some participation, some not. We kind of introduce him back into school. Maybe he wants to go, maybe he doesn't. And I picked up a Healy about March, I think it was. February. Okay.
21.
And I like to put it into the ether. I just pick a program, I start playing it, whoever's in the house gets exposed. And I figure that's how I feel like doing it. It's on such a micro level. It's cell and smaller than cells, molecules, and whoever knows. But it's like, I just want that energy there. So fast forward about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and he starts talking, not a lot, but when you talk to your son and you're like, hey, what do you think about this? And he goes, I don't know. I don't have an opinion. That's what we were getting. Or I don't feel anything about this. How do you feel about this? No response. I don't know, And one day I go to wake my kids up for school, and it's been a long week, working 12 hours a day is draining. And I myself felt the last year significantly with all the increased stressors.
Yeah.
COVID related and not. Excuse me. And I decided not to wake them up for school because I literally got I don't want to go and leave me alone from Cullen. And then his younger brother, Kieran, when I turned on the light and said, hey, time to get up, I got a walk to the door, turn off the light, shut the door. And then so I'm going about running some errands, doing my thing, and I get this email from my younger son, Kieran, who's a year and a half younger than Cullen. He's 13. And he says, why aren't we at school? And so I email him back, put my perspective on exactly what happened, restate that story. And he's like, I don't even remember getting up, which is, he may not. That's perfectly acceptable. That's how my husband wakes up too, is I have a full conversation done. And then I get this email back from my other son, Cullen, and
Cullen and Kieran. So to distinguish the names might be a little bit
right. They're unusual.
So no, they're awesome. And the older one is a higher functioning.
Right.
Kieran is the younger one. So
and he actually doesn't necessarily enjoy school, but he goes and he does well. So and this email, let me read that to you.
So it's from Cullen.
From Cullen,
the older one.
Yeah.
High functioning autistic, right?
We did not refuse to get out of bed. Kieran was asleep and doesn't remember getting up. And as for me, I was in a state of depression, knowing one day I'll die without leaving an impact on the world. So I was sad, and Kieran was asleep. And I gotta tell you, that was one of the absolutely most painful interactions I have ever gotten from him. But at the same time, he said it. He absolutely said it. And it's like, he's been coming out, just talking about some of his traumas. Obviously, we have familial stress, and my husband deals with a lot of things, PTSD and stuff as well, because he was in the military for a very, very long time.
Can't talk about what you can't talk about.
Exactly.
Can't talk about it because it's like sniper, covert,
right.
Ops, sniper. Don't talk
right.
about it, guy.
Yeah.
A lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma.
Don't blame the guy. Like, wow.
Right.
Missions.
Yeah. So,
wow.
But he just started saying things like, things that happened 2 years before. This really bothered me when Dad yelled about this, or this really hurt when Kieran said something that I didn't like, and I don't feel good about this. And it was like, dude, I've been trying to get you to talk about this for so long, and here it is. He's just bringing it up. And so, and I'm actually a very good communicator. Three-quarters of my job is communication and empathy, and trying to get people to express their feelings. And I've got a rule as a nurse: if you want to swear, go ahead, as long as it's not at me. It's how you express, and it releases endorphins. Go ahead. And I'm very much known for dropping an F-bomb now and again. And it's one of those things where it's like, here is my kid finally opening up and finally saying things and finally showing up. They've been sitting at home for months on end and not wanting to interact. And he's got a little girlfriend now. I mean, and I won't go into that too deeply. It's, but he's inviting her to go to things and interact. And we hung out at the river, and they just kind of hang out and talk, and they're very sweet. And it's like, I didn't even know. I honestly did not know if my child would be able and capable of dating. That was a concern for me. I know he's interested in girls and everything, but it's like, I don't know if he's going to have the capacity to be able to make those types of connections in relationship.
Wow.
And here he is showing interest in another person at that level. And I'm like, I'm blown away. Absolutely floored. So.
Yeah, and that's been a few of the instances in the last few months. And
yeah,
I mean, over the time that he's been in our lives, the whole life. I mean, we've been separated due to distance and living in other states, but
we stay connected.
Yeah. And there's has been this feeling like I can't connect with, I can't, like, I try, I'm like, hey, and he's like, I'm like, hey,
deadpan. Yeah.
Hey,
like, can we hug? Can we talk?
Yeah.
Can we say something?
And what's interesting is I'm not required to be overly exerting myself to make a connection. And what's awesome is he walks in and he's the one that initiates. And like that in itself, like,
he brought his artwork over last time.
I know, right?
And the thing is this is a child who at the age of 5 did not color.
Oh, wow.
And between brain balance and now the Healy, it feels like he's making things, he's creating things. His vision of a child who does not color, that does not draw, and now he's expressing himself through these different mediums. And his stuff online where he does Minecraft and different things like that, and he's putting together all of these little videos and things. He's gotten so much more creative, and it's like a switch just flipped.
Wow.
And every time I turn around, he's got more and more to show me, and that is critical. The fact that not just that he's doing it, but that he wants to share it, and it's not repetitive, and it's not the same thing, and he's exploring new ideas, and it's amazing.
Yeah, last one, you all were over at Father's Day, and it was pull out the book, the art pad,
right,
and let me tell you the story that goes with this specific character, and let me tell you about
Very
the story about what it is. And he's got this whole creation and vision and imagination, and the level of sitting back from I'm not his parent, how I can be around every once in a while, I can do the level of involvement. And that's why I pounded it in, like, you got to get one of these Healys.
Right.
You gotta get one of these Healys, because the second you start becoming the transmitter of frequencies around you, because we are all transmitters and receivers of energy. The energy, somebody shitty, his dick walked into my life and now he ruined my day.
Gotta let it go.
Well, yeah, do you? No. Well, you.
I do. I have to.
You have to.
I have to in my job.
Most people,
They
repress
internalize
it,
They
and
internalize it.
it's gone. And that's the thing, is that there are so many situations that have been released from a perspective of not requiring a significant amount of therapy, a significant amount of hypnosis, a significant amount of shadow work, a significant amount of meditation, a significant amount of anything. It's all right. The simplicity of, if somebody can walk into my life and instantly be able to change me, that's got to say something about me,
right?
And how much easily I assimilate energy, and how out of alignment I must be. And I'm speaking in the royal we of whoever it is that this applies to, right? I'm not saying you, because maybe you're a Zen master Buddha and you're looking at this going, I don't need that. That's cool. Well, the reality is, with all the disaligning frequencies that are everywhere, what you found is that, hey, I pick what makes me feel good. And it's like, well, great. Well, guess what? When you are now that person that walks in the room and people go, I'm not quite sure what it is about your vibe, but I love it. I love your vibe. Yeah. I love your aura. Something about your aura. I love your vibe. And it's like, well, what made your vibe your vibe? And this is where it comes to me of like, well, so simply the availability, because all this stuff is mumbo jumbo. According to all the whatever, none of this stuff actually works, and it's just a figment of your imagination. So move on, move on. According to the FDA, it's been cleared as a class 2 medical device for pain, class 2 medical device. So, I look at it as, well, maybe something simple as maybe somebody wasn't in pain that day, so they weren't such a jerk. So it allowed somebody else to create a little bit more space. And those simple, small changes can make so much room. I mean, yeah, there's on these devices, I mean, there's over 120 programs that can align over 10 million frequencies that are in the realm and out of the realm of pain management. And what's really amazing is what happens when the pain of not being able to communicate starts to dissolve. Yeah. The pain of not having that connection starts to dissolve. Yeah. That pain of not having the confidence and the truth to speak one's own voice starts to dissolve, and you find yourself at this place of ease and grace and flow. I remember, I think it was like 12 or 13, our cousin Terry pushed down on my neck, and I started having like a lot of chiropractic, a lot of years of work on my neck and my back. And two parts of this when I'm telling the story. One, it was a lot of work and it hurt a lot. And the amount of embarrassment that I felt when I sprung up underneath the water out of that pool and went, one, super duper trauma, embarrassment. Next, when I was laying in that bed crying, and some kid walked in, I didn't even know who he was. And he goes, why are you crying? Super duper traumatic, let alone the pain that I felt for years physically, and how it literally stopped me from doing activities of sports and extracurricular activities. Though when I got into the chiropractor and he did an x-ray, he looked at my back and went, huh, you have an extra vertebrae.
And I did not know that.
Oh, you learned something I never wanted to share, because it's such vulnerability. Because if you speak outside, is it odd? Oh my gosh, is it weird? Is it weird, Trevor?
The human body is exceptionally exceptional,
isn't it?
It is, yeah. No, yeah. I've met people that have like one really deformed kidney, or they're like misplaced or something. Right. The body is not a human anatomy symmetrical.
Of course not. Look at my nose. It's off a little. Did you notice?
Everybody's a little bit different, and we use generalizations throughout. So
yeah,
Yeah.
And so generally those generalizations are overarching judgments that don't align to the norm that actually isn't there. So we take on those preconceived notions that re-perpetuate the traumas of our own heart that are happened. And so we're out of our source place. And so I'm sitting here experiencing those moments back after back.
Yeah.
This is funny because I'm talking about back. Yeah. And what happened is he said, well, it's not completely free mobile. It's half fused. So you're going to have back problems for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And I went,
I have back problems. I have back problems.
It crushed me.
Yeah.
So many traumas out of this one event, let alone the multitude of different traumas. And what is so interesting is that when the back pain left, I was running a kidney program.
Doesn't seem like that's connected. I mean, you know, the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone kind of a thing, but.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting and amazing about this is that you're looking at that going, why did my resonance that has the analysis that puts practitioner focus into patient focus, where you can go and search all of these programs and then go, which is the one that is of your highest benefit right now in this moment. And you're looking at it going, why would I
even click that?
Why inner beauty? I don't understand. Oh, silly you, Trevor. That's because you grew up in a state in Utah where the majority of people are Mormon and you're not. So girls aren't going to dig you. Their dads are going to hate you. And everybody actually is going to have you be an outcast just because you're not one of us. And that's okay. Because, you know, that's the way it rolls. And whatever society or clique, it was really great to teach me about a lot of stuff. And and a lot of things. And the reason why I say that is there is a significant amount of inner pains that happen from growing up. That why would the Healy very first thing pull up inner beauty for me on the auras, on the highest benefit of my programs? I'm like, what do I need inner? Oh no.
Where's my self-esteem at? Yeah.
Whoa, where's that? Yeah. In my shadow. That's in the shadow of my shadow, actually.
Right. And
I experienced those things that Colin is like not being able to communicate on a specific level because due to the traumas that I experienced in life. And I'm looking at myself going like, oh my gosh, like, wow, if that can do this for me, there's no one I wouldn't put this in front of and connecting it to and seeing what happens. I mean, did you ever expect that anything was actually going to happen?
I was hopeful. But I'm like, it sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo. But I like mumbo jumbo. You know, I've always been, we grew up kind of Catholic, but surrounded by Mormons, and I've been exposed to different places and religions. And I've kind of set myself more on like a pagan spiritual path. And so I believe in a little bit of the mumbo and the jumbo. It's even with modern medicine, I mix that with my, you know, essential oils. You go to the doctor for this, but you also try to treat that at home if you can. So very much a balance. Even I actually am a breast cancer survivor. I went through chemo. And while I was doing that, I saw a naturopath and was doing vitamins and cleansing. And that decreased the impact, I do believe, on my body overall. My white blood cells never dropped. I was never anemic. And I have so many friends and stories and patients that they struggle with that throughout. And there's times where they have to be hospitalized. And I was not hospitalized the entire time I was there. I just got a little bit low on my red blood cells. I ate more liver.
Do you know, have you ever thought about why essential oils actually work? This is going to be fun.
Well, I think it's just because they are derived from natural products.
Okay.
You know? And things, herbs that have value.
Okay.
Know?
What gives those herbs value?
Well, it's got to be the chemical interactions in your body and the way we interacted with them since the dawn of time. You know, it's funny how medicine is really only a product of the last 150 years, maybe. And it wasn't really until the 50s and 60s where they really started standardizing things and then experimenting on people.
Not any of that going on today, is
Find
there?
out the
What the?
Well, and that's the hard part about medicine is if you are the standard and you fall into that 80 to 90%, those medications will be classified as effective. And there are certain side effects. I love it when somebody tells me they get nausea from pain medication, narco, hydrocodone, Dilaudid. That's an expected side effect that affects numerous people. So it's not an allergy, folks. It's not an allergy. Don't say that. Just ask for some Zofran. But it's one of those things where if you fall into that 10 to 20% that does not react well, my dad happens to be one of them. If there's a negative side effect that's going to happen, it's not going to perform well. Cullen is like that as well. People were like, well, he's a little sleepy. He's got some allergies. Give him some Benadryl. It wound him up. He would not sleep. He would not stop sneezing. So he'd be sneezing and round up like a top and running around in circles. So if your chemistry falls slightly outside of that, then you're not going to necessarily get any benefit from that. But I found if you take the same thing that is a treatment on the herbal side, for sleep or for relaxation or whatever, and I apply that, we do clove oil and different things for colds. Suddenly they're getting over it, or they're more comfortable, or they're, Vapor Rub, for crying out loud, menthol is all that is. Yeah. And it's extremely effective, and you're not zonking out like with the Benadryl, or you're not falling over because you're doing NyQuil, and you're not putting a little bit of alcohol in your kid's system, which, they've taken it out now, but it's that type of thing where you pick exactly what you want to put into your body, and imagine if you could do that without even taking a pill.
Well, that's where we're going today in that conversation, that question. I'm glad you circled back around, because that is the essence of the essential oil. It's what is the essence that gives that properties to the properties, right? And it is the resonating frequency within that said item. And to go one step further, you got the oil in it, right? So that oil, before the oil, we had the plant.
Right.
Well, if you got that plant and you crush it up and then you put it into water, well, what will happen is you'll have some muddy, soupy tea, right? Well, then take an extract out of that, one drop, and then put it into water. And then we're going to do multiple distillations where there is no plant, no remnants of plant. You can't even tell that there is any plant. It's pure water. And yet, when you look at the frequency of the ground up tea water and that frequency here, the water has changed and assumed the vibration of the plant. And that is homeopathy. And homeopathy was invented or discovered, whatever, in the 1800s. And this is one of the things, Masaru Emoto is a great person to go and check out. Did a lot of studies about water, got these monks around and said, all right, let's go ahead and let's talk about reverence. Let's meditate on reverence. Well, guess what? Water's crystalline structure, right? When you freeze it, it turns into ice like rocks, right? Remember when geodes and things like that, when they form as a little kid, they have that specific crystalline structure. Well, guess what? Water's the same thing. Happiness, hope, coral reef, right? So here we are, made up of 70 to 90% water. Oh, there it is. And then you have this resonating frequency coming into your body, and your crystalline structure changes of the resonating frequency. That's how homeopathy works, right? Where you have this energetic frequency that goes into you and then boom, blasts out and assumes the dominant frequency of the body. That's why that's why things, ailments, whatever it might be, because you can't get rid of viruses because they're just solvents and they're there to help you. So we won't get into the virus conversation because that's just silly pants stuff. Yeah, and your body produces them naturally to help you during the flu process, or your flushing. We won't call it the flu, we'll call it a flushing, because that's what your body naturally goes through in a detoxifying and cleansing process. Boy, bummer, medical cartels, gotcha. So what happens though, is that like a chalkboard. Who loves nails on a chalkboard? Get me out! Oh, the frequency changed. Oh, it's just the thought. Oh, the thought of it. Oh, get me out of here. All right, it's gone. Well, we were unpreferred residents in your body. And now here comes this higher frequency. So we must evacuate. We must go. And that's the question. What's the low vibe elements in your life? Who's the low vibe person in your tribe? Gosh, they just don't call anymore. Where's the low vibe areas of your life? Well, gosh, I find myself being more productive and profitable. Well, gosh, this situation really was causing a huge issue in our life. Well, lower, because that jerk, right, walks in and now he changes your day. What thoughts are you able to connect with, Tonsina?
It limits our ability to communicate correctly.
So would you say on the range of down here or up here?
Oh, you're totally low.
Oh yeah, low.
Yeah, no, I watch that happen with my kids when they start picking at each other.
When you and I start picking at each other, shoot, let's be real. Gosh. Yeah, right?
We don't do it as much as we used to.
No, I mean, we're friends. Totally. So
yeah, stop.
Yeah, totally shut down. I died inside. Yeah.
So where are we moving?
So we're in this thought form, right? We're in this wave. And that's the thing about your frequency and about people and about life and about productivity and everything in your life. If you're unable to connect with that higher frequency and maintain optimal, because let's just be real, up here is not optimal either. It's a wave, right? And too high is too high, too low is too low. And there is a range of optimal that's for everyone. And when we are feeling low, well, guess what? Low thought forms, low productivity, low stuff, everything low. When we're high, guess what we're about to do? Burnout, crash, overwhelm. It's happening. It's going to happen. Eventually, your highs will become your lows, and your lows will become your highs. Yeah. And what I have found from me, my own personal testimonial, is that within my own heart, guiding force, going forward. I'm no longer on this entrepreneurial roller coaster, straight shooter. The pains in my body, the way that I sleep has completely changed. The way that I connect and interact, that'll be something I'd be curious about, the sleep and the sleep of the house. But for our kids, for my wife, like she's like, I don't know how I ever did. I mean, what she is capable of now, it's impressive. And myself, like I even underestimate the possibilities of all of this stuff and realize that I'm even not using it as much as I could. And because there's still that limiting belief of like, gosh, can this thing do all that it's capable of doing?
Right. Well, with my husband too, like I just run it on the down low, just kind of have it going. And he's been spending some more time out and about and doing things. And I'm like, man, he's a little wound up this morning. Like his vibes are really high. He's got kind of some anger at the, he watches some YouTube stuff and he just gets really ramped up. And it's like, man, he's really extra kind of aggressive today. And I can't really pull him down from that. What is going on? And I'm like, he's been missing the Healy. He's been crashing it, couch surfing or whatever on the weekends and not hanging out as much. And it's like, he's missed a couple sessions. I need to get him to hold still, sit in one place so I could just run one on him really quick and let him get back into a level. And it's kind of fun because it's like, how is it really feels like it's working. Like our communication's better, it's his patience is greater, his involvement with our our family and everything is a lot more, and he's not sitting in his own little world just like YouTube and 24/7 and
volatile is how I described him. I would have described him a while back,
right?
And that has since
changed
significantly.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting him when he comes over. I'm just like, wow, James, like it's the same thing of Colin and him. Like I get big hugs, and those are things that if it would only have worked for pain, we would still have for. and it still keeps giving. It's this quantum tool that keeps giving. And I'm like, wow, is there ever going to be an end of the positive possibilities of aligning options to optimal? And it's kind of, sometimes it blows my mind and overwhelms me at like how many people this could help.
Yeah.
And what's really fun though is connecting with people around the country. And I'm at the point where I'm like, you know, if anybody's in Southern Oregon, I would much rather them connect with you, because I'm, from a timeline perspective, I'm hustling and going, and I'm out there, and the like local folks. So if anybody's in the regional area of Medford, Rogue River, Grants Pass, all that, within an hour, drive an hour or two, try the Healy, give it a shot, hang out, have a cup of tea, meet in a place, and then just see what happens. And in the event that you want to get one, there's a link down below that just go ahead and click the link. There's a 14-day trial period. Right now is a really, really great time. In the next 6 days, trust me, don't wait till the end. We literally crashed and blew up the internet this morning, and it was totally shot. And so we've got a few more days, luckily, to get the lifetime subscription versus the monthly subscription. And it is a really great time. Not that I won't be having subscriptions in the future, because there's more programs that are going to be coming out. And if I would have learned about Healy 2 weeks from now, I wouldn't give two shits. I would still have 4 Healys, and I would still be doing it, because the amount of it has changed my life personally, with our kids, in our own home dynamic. Like, wow, I am seeing, as I'm focusing and being the change that I want to be in the world here, then it goes into my relationship with my wife, my kids, my family, and then I see it everywhere in the world. And it's so inspiring. And I'm like, wow, how many can we really heal the world with this? Because we are right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the most successful, fastest growing MLM in history. This information of simple basics of frequency medicine has been stifled for over 100 years by foundations that have, you guys
know Tesla. He's the man with the plan. It's based on that type of science.
Absolutely. And now you can actually have a Tesla coil in your pocket that can go on the backside of your Healy, and you can connect with 0-point energy and bridge the physical realm with the information field. And so all of what that huge tower that Tesla sits in front of, and he's just sitting there reading a book, and he's like surrounded by lightning, right? That literally is able to fit in your pocket now. And since you look at Moore's law, innovation every 2 years doubles. And it's like, well, why isn't this industry innovating? Why isn't this industry innovating? Why is the oil and gas industry still the same? Why is the medical industry still the same? Oh, interesting. Yeah, we've been pushed down. And guess what happens? That creates a lot of pressure. And then boom, it blows. And guess what's happening right now?
We're blowing that top off.
We are disrupting, not even with a B, trillion-dollar industries. And we're looking to connect. You're growing a team. You're expanding. We're getting frequency medicine in. You're looking to connect with doctors. You're looking to connect with nurses. You're looking to connect with individuals in the health and medical world, because you speak their speak. And what's really amazing and interesting, and what's going to be really fun, is seeing when MDs get this in their pocket and go, oopsies. I prefer a different way. Thank you very much. I think I'll choose energy medicine from now on. You take your pills and you go shove them. Yes, you go shove them, kind sir. No, have a blessed day. Yeah, that's just special. All right, so with that, we've talked a lot about a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't even
scratched the surface.
Oh my goodness. I'd love to do this again.
Okay.
Sometime. It's been fun. I'm like relearning about my sister, and apparently she's really learning about me too.
Yeah,
so
little things.
Yeah, it is. It's those little things, and a lot is missed. And the more and more I align with myself, the more I catch, and the more I'm present in the present of the moment. So it's anybody who would consider getting one, what would you say if they're sitting on the fence?
Now is the time, and you won't know or understand the change it will make until it's already happening.
Oh, snap.
Right?
Yeah.
It was, and it's powerful, and it makes you want to cry, and it makes you want to smile, and it makes you want to scream. Because just little things mean big changes, and those big changes over time are life altering.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's super amazing.
It is. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, we're gonna
at least check it out. Please check it out.
Here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to Choose Healy so that you can see exactly where to go. And when you get there, so this is my website, choosehealy.com. If you click this link or this little area right here, what you'll see is under this is a subscribe that you can subscribe, or what I would do is just click that guy. It'll head over here. There's I don't know if it'll show this, but there's what is frequency, what is a Healy device technology. So if you go to Choose Healy here, there are tons and tons of videos. There's tons of testimonials in the playlist. If you go in this section, what is really fun is watching all the testimonials, learning about electroceuticals and the electroceutical industry. It is a $1 trillion disrupting industry that is about to start. Imagine if you are, I don't know, an Olympian or about to be an Olympian. What? And you got frequency medicine and you went to the
next level.
Oh, man.
Well, think about this too. Everybody always says, what if they'd had stocks in AT&T in the 1920s? What if you knew the Google guys before they went big? What if Amazon was your thing and you had a little bite of that? Where would you be today? Now is that time.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, this is where we go big.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Medical industry, fitness industry, pharmaceutical industry, addictive substances industry.
Wow, that could just make things stop. And we don't even want to go into how everybody is so addicted.
Medical or mental, the mental health industry. So many industries think about it as a professional sitting back and saying, if I had one of these in my pocket, I'm a lawyer. And when I walk in, well, it'll probably be, you're probably not woke enough yet. Maybe, oops, my bad. We're looking for some conscious lawyers, by the way. So if you have the cojones to resonate at this frequency and have it right here, walk into the courtroom and the judge is like, come over here, let me check this out. Well, let me tell you about this, judge. That's the type of folks that we're looking for. Because here's the thing, is every industry is about to be disrupted. And the question is, do you want to be the disruptor or the disrupted?
I'd rather be pushing.
Yeah.
I actually have a lawyer friend, so I might have to.
Woo, if you'd like to, and if you love to, and you're inspired to, I'd be so appreciative. So with that, thank you very much for watching this video. Head on over to choosehealy.com. Tonsina's, her partner link is in the description. So if you check it out, her team name is Tonsina R. Wells. So you can check that out, join her team if you'd like to. If you do have any conversation or conversations, you need a test drive, go ahead and go to Choose Healy, scroll down. There's red buttons everywhere that say, hey, get a Healy resonance session. You've got the next few days to get lifetime deals and save anywhere from $500 to $1,000. So if you do have any questions, shoot me a message. If you're connected with Tonsina, she's your gal. You're taking a little vacay right now, so you can
a little break.
So you can go ahead and help anybody out that would be in the Rogue River, Medford area. Yeah, Central Point area, Grants Pass, and hook you up. So highly, highly recommend giving it a test drive, testing out the 14-day 100% guarantee. I have yet to have one person return the device. One, not one. So check it out. And if you do have any questions, appreciate your time. I could talk about this all day. I feel like I haven't actually slept. I was up all night, like trying to get these orders in. I've got like all of these orders that are going to go on. I'm so glad that they extended it till the 7th of July. So I'm going to actually take a nap right now because Josh Hole, I'm going to stay accountable to Josh Hole and take naps every day. So appreciate you. Thanks for watching this. This is Trevor Mickelson and Tonsina Wells. We are here to help you embrace prosperity and optimal vibrations. So talk to you soon.